at is at least that with the talent they have. They can win one-on-one fights. It's everything outside of that that's likely been an issue. So if they're able to spread out Mazer Gaming and take those fights, it looks very good for them. Now, what can they do on offense? But like it looked worse when they're all bunched up and have to work together. It's where they struggled.
Yeah, but it looks like they should have a free A site. One player starting to push on up. No, yeah, connector. There is a couple of players from Mazer who backed on up. But these are the key rounds, right? You get the bomb down. Now, how is the teamwork here? This is really a huge question. There's that shot that Octane has. Can be so good long range. Pharaoh able to find one as well.
Now the deep flank is coming in. It looks like it's going to be Slasher that has to deal with that.
There we go.
And he does it. He picks up the kill, and that's an offensive round, a clean offensive round now. 400 Thieves. They look good in this game 5, but Lord, are they making it as stressful as possible. Feels like every kill we see is coming out of these ICRs.
Does sound like map 4 on the main stage has started, but see when we go back to that, maybe if 100 Thieves goes up 5-2.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind just seeing kind of where this goes. Just the importance of this match. Like obviously the other series is crucial, but like this is a bit more do or die in a way for these teams.
Could be the life.
Yeah, 100%. Kenny almost gets picked, but he's able to stay up. If they go for a similar push, Slasher has that cluster again.
Those two guys going all the way around the water. There's nobody watching the water. Nobody's watching water right now. They're just baiting them out. Look at the plays. There's players going so deep on the map. They might catch them off guard. They should.
100%.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Yeah, Pharaoh, he's going to get caught out. Where's the trade? Vivid going to play his life. Great play from them.
So who's that on?
I mean, just the setup.
Just
in
the
general.
setup?
Like, nobody's going to watch that deep flank. That is absolutely a possibility. And he's still alive. Like, look at where Vivid is. He's going towards the A site. Now they have a 3 versus 5 advantage. Slasher going to try and win a 1v1. He does. But now it's a 1 versus 4. So Mazer able to find the opening in that defensive setup that we talked about.
Octane gets 1 kill. He pops the Annihilator. He makes the play.
That would be incredible.
He's still got work to do. 3 players remaining now. Looking for any kind of opening. He's going to get stunned. The pressure's going to come in. He's going to end up dropping. So the miracle and flashy play I'd hoped for will die. And that's a big round win. So you go down 5-2. Well, I say that, but we've had so many comebacks. This scoreline doesn't seem to matter.
And now Mazer could play around that if when they get to their next offense, right? You know you've found an opening. 100 Thieves is going to have to make an adjustment on their defense. When we go to that next defensive round, we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, because I just said before that round, like how good the defense has looked for 100 Thieves. Like there seemed to be no opening at all for Mazer Gaming. They found out that just a long swim will find exactly what they need, but the trades go back and forth. Octane still has that Annihilator to work with, but they're down a man right now. Snipe comes over the top. Kenny trying to get forward. Pharaoh actually finds that pick, and what a big one it is.
The ICRs, man, we've talked about the ICRs have been so strong from Pharaoh and Octane.
Just in the little bit we've watched of this series.
But here's another example of maybe where they're overthinking, right? Like, Mazer is reading this so well. You get a bomb site, but Kenny's able to win his 1 versus 1. Now a 2 versus 3. Huge round for 100 Thieves. Again, Octane able to win that 1 versus 2. Noobs is going to be ready for this, and Pharaoh oversteps. And now Kenny is here, able to win it. Okay. Those sorts of timings, though, cannot happen. That's the difference for them right now. like, oh, that's scary.
That round didn't need to be that. It just didn't need to be that scary at all. Oh, well, it looks like a simple round victory. Noobs makes very, very interesting. Nice shots. But Pharaoh just, God.
I mean, if he has a Maddox in that position, he might win that last gunfight.
Yeah, it's just a one-on-one fight you don't want to take on those steps, man. Do you have the 2v1 advantage? At least make sure the trade is possible. I mean, he just gets peeled.
All right, so now you have no specialists on the side of Mazer. This should be it. When you talk about the jugular, this has to be it for 100 Thieves. They're going to find Destiny. He's going to eat a bunch of shots with the flak.
Flak plus the extra HP.
Able to find 1, but still it's a 3 versus 3. Destiny's going to come on back. Throws a cluster down, But there's the flank from number 3. That's Vivid. Slasher does win one. Great shots by Enable. I talked about it. Able to win a 1v1 now. Vivid has to use the grab slam. He wins that.
He's still up. He's still up. He gets away. The challenge comes in. And the ground slam from Enable to close it out. As Enable goes big to get the victory in Game 5.
All right, go back to Game 4.
Oh, there's a smile. There's a smile.
No, but like, come on, man. Like, come on. You guys won. Let's go. It's game time, but here we go.
Wow.
This is a close Game 4. Accelerate up 2-1.
Might as well be 0-0. We come into it all but a tie game right now. Accelerate looking to close it out. Pittsburgh Knights seeing, can they desperately get this to a 5th and final map? Fastball looks to be going off. He's 21-13 on the other side.
Struggling.
Pander kind of making, who's struggling?
Ricky.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first hard point, he was a similar scoreline. I think it was like 8-16, something like that. The hard point's not being kind to Ricky right now.
Believe, though, able to stay alive. This should be a big break for the Knights.
I
thought Gadorex was going to try and go for that grab slam. Here comes the Tempest as well. This is a big play. He's going to try to connect. Able to snap on a one, doesn't find the second. Saints somehow gets 3.
And that change, just real quick, that change, Enable just switched. They just switched him to grab slam, right? Wasn't Kenny coming into the event? Yeah. They switched that here. Well, that works out.
Supposedly, what happened is there was like 2 matches where they got like a total of like 2 grab slam kills.
Yeah, I thought there was a change there. So, well, it certainly paid off in that round.
But yeah, Enable. I mean, I thought Enable actually was going to die.
I thought he was dead. I didn't even think about the grab slam. If he doesn't have it there, he might get smoked. I mean, it's what Maddox on Assault. He's likely going to get smoked there. Wow. Power of the specialist. Well, now let's get to our next set of rotations as Ruiz able to connect in the back. Set up inside the hard point. Back Saints down, who he had his way with throughout that control. Kills him one more time. That's a team cluster that actually connects, but you still have a presence here. And you have that close spawn for Accelerate, so you can reinforce this quickly. Godorex just trying to do what he can to maybe be a nuisance inside. He's trying to cut off the reinforcements, but he drops like right between 2.
I don't like that out of Knights. You know there's one guy left in the hill. Flood him. Make them come into those doors. It doesn't matter if you have the good or the bad spawn. If you have control of the hill, you have the advantage in the gunfights. Godorex slides across, doesn't see anything, and instead jumps off the ladder. They had a pinch at the front and the back. If you're able to get that gunfight, you force Accelerate out of position.
Well, Accelerate now going to take over the lead. Not much of one, but it's a lead nonetheless. Scary times now for Pittsburgh Knights as they have got to clutch up here. And you're at risk of giving Believe some streaks. He's now 50 off the Lightning behind Ricky as well. And there is one streak to work with. Can he tack on any more? He's got kind of that greedier class where he has Drone Squad and Sniper's Nest to work with. Oh, almost snaps onto the second, but that's still going to be some added utility to go with this minor lead.
Yeah, Profizzi trying to stay alive. Maybe use the grab slam here. Actually, Lightning strike out of Believe. Only finds one, but still, you'll take these 25 seconds. You do have a pinch, though, coming in, but that's going to get red. Gadorex trying to stay alive now. He's going to get taken down. Parasite already rotating towards this semi-truck kill. By Sushi.
Spotted him.
Yeah, he knows Ruiz is here. But, I mean, they've given up a lot of time. A lot of time for this hold. They have to try to lock down these spawns. We'll see where Saints is going to spawn on up.
There's not really anything to work with right now with regards to Specialists. You're getting kind of close on the side of Accelerate. You still have, look how far you have to go. If you're talking about Pittsburgh Knights, whereas you might be able to close out the game, as you're getting very close to having War Machine, TAC 5, Tempest maybe as well involved in this.
Yep. Here comes that split push. TAC 5 push as well. A couple players coming through the front, coming through the back. The Accelerate have broken on in. That's a huge break for Accelerate. This might be the match right here. Can they hold on? Pittsburgh Knights in desperation mode right now. Pander and Gadorex able to win a couple of 1 versus 1. Gadorex with another.
How big are those 2 entry kills for him? Because he's the lone man. He's got to try and stay up. The reinforcements are coming in as Gadorex picks up another. Somehow gets 3 before he finally falls, but only 20 seconds now needed for Accelerate.
Well, at least go to the next one. It'll be about 2:48. But you can see Accelerate, they're gone. They're already towards showers in this dojo area.
And you still just have nothing to entry with. Yeah, Saints is close to getting that War Machine,
I mean, this is like deja vu from game one, right? Like where Accelerate was so close to getting those specialists and making this game go longer. But a great hold from BZ, fastball, I believe. Everybody contributing and Accelerate. I think it's over, Maven. They're gonna take this one 3-1.
What a performance from Accelerate. They dropped the game one, then rip off 3 straight. As that puts them at 3-2. Pittsburgh Knights will drop to 2-2. And this fight for a top 2 spot, I mean, if you're Pittsburgh Knights, you're coming into this thinking, if we win this, we're going to get top 2 in this pool. We're going to be able to make it. But now, Accelerate may be controlling that fate.
The one thing for Accelerate is I mean, they still have to worry about team space as well. Can make that run.
Well, yeah, it kind of comes down to what matchups you have left.
I don't know which matchup Accelerate has left. It might be 100 Thieves. I don't know if Accelerate has played 100 Thieves. That could be a big match. But man, this pool is crazy.
I feel that way about every pool, but you saw a lot of action coming from Pool C as 100 Thieves get the Game 5 win. Accelerate rip off 3 straight for the victory. As we get deeper and deeper into the Pro League qualifier, more matches to come.
The Call of Duty World League.
We are back here at the third day of the Pro League qualifier, and these matches are not disappointing. Of course, joining me on the analyst desk, Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man. We did just see Accelerate manage to come out with a W there on the Alpha stream.
They really turned up after map 1, right? Impressive performance, way to bounce back after that first loss. They played really well, man. They played really well.
Yeah, Saints and Parasite played great on that first map, and then Accelerate from then on out started just dominating, especially in that control. That was an amazing gameplay. That last round of control was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They called in all their specialists. They had so many streaks, just calling Hellstorm after Hellstorm, just dominating them. This is really the only map where Pittsburgh Knights looked solid. I mean, Saints Parasite had an amazing map. Saints has been pretty good throughout this tournament, but you expect the Knights to, beat Accelerate. Accelerate's a solid team, but what you know about these players on the Knights, you expect them to be able to take this one down. It just didn't seem like they were, hyped enough. They weren't winning their trades. They were kind of playing slow in that control. Like, you got to be involved in, frequency control. Not a map I would expect the Knights to play a team like Accelerate on, having Profizi and Fastball, such fast players. I have a lot of questions after this series about the Knights.
Ricky, for me, just had an abysmal series. In every respawn, he was basically just double negative, not bringing anything for the team. And honestly, it's just like, even in the S&D, like, this is something that they should be guaranteeing, at least with this roster on what I look like. But Ricky just...
I mean, yeah, Ricky definitely didn't play up to par, but like I said, players like on Accelerate, like Profizi, like Fastball, they're going to give players like Ricky a hard time. And that's when you kind of have to make them play your game. And I don't know how the vetoes went down. Maybe Pittsburgh Knights feel like they're good at this map. I feel like this is a horrible map choice for them, especially against a team like Accelerate, and it definitely showed in the gameplay, like right here in situations like this, challenging 1-by-1 in the elbow. You're just in your spawn getting trapped by these aggressive players who are throwing those shoulders. It's so hard to deal with. Pretty much just had a guaranteed map loss going in the series.
When Study, something like the veto process that, as Nameless said, we don't see a lot of, talk to me a little bit more about how kind of like a peripheral thing to most of the viewers.
Yeah, so basically when you're doing a veto system between your teams, you got to realize who you're playing with. So on Pittsburgh Knight Fast.
I mean, yeah, I'm just not trying to deal with like anybody like Profizi near you or even play that map against them at all. Like, give me Arsenal.
You don't want to play them nuts.
Lane.
Well, and take a look at his stats
yeah.
against the Knights.
This guy's a beast, man. Like, he was going off in this series, and one thing I want to talk about. That is the best ruin in the game. Like, I was talking about it with some other guys in the back, and whenever I used to play against Profizi, in any game that had a ground pound, he was so good with it. He positions himself in the perfect spots to use it. He's always picking up multi-kills when he does have his grab slam, and we saw it right there in that series. He was picking up so many kills with it, playing amazing.
All right, we are going to pull up Pool C for you here to take a look at the standings and what is going on. You will see at least one name moving out of those danger spots in 6th and 7th.
Okay, so yeah, this is going to get a little bit scarier for the Pittsburgh Knights because you still have yet to play Team Space, and we all know Team Space is here to play. They made some improvements yesterday. We heard that interview from Major Maniac. They've definitely turned it around. They have momentum going forward. And then Accelerate, they still have to play 100 Thieves. So both of these teams that we just watched, they have tough matches coming forward, and 100 Thieves was coming off of a win.
Right.
If you're 100 Thieves, though, like, that top 2 is still possible. It's scary because you're playing the team that's in top 2, and they're looking good right now, beating a team that just beat you yesterday. And now we're going to jump right into, some of the replays from the 100 Thieves gameplay.
First things first, good news for 100 Thieves. They won the match.
Good news.
That's the good news for 100 Thieves.
The bad news
right there, that's the only good news out of that match for 100 Thieves. Technically, I think they lost that series. If you look at their faces between rounds, they weren't even dapping each other up. It was just like, that's probably the most embarrassing win that they've ever had.
100 Thieves is terrible.
Yeah, they're an awful team.
They're legitimately awful. Like, I'm going to be the one to say it. I'm going to call them out. Kenny's got to get better, man. What is up with this? This was my MVP last year. The whole year, over the whole course of the year, Kenny, for me, was the best player in the game. What happened in this game? What's going wrong with these guys? He needs to get way better. Kenny is not good right now at all. It's actually making me mad watching 100 Thieves. Like, you should be able to win a map simply off your gun skill. Like, that team shouldn't even have to call out on a map to take a map. Like, win a control. Like, that team is that talented. They can win without even doing the right thing sometimes. And it's just crazy to me that they're not able to close out a series against Mazer like earlier in the series. Like, Mazer's not, like, they're not a good team.
They're not, and they don't even have their full team. Their best player didn't even show up to the event.
They're playing with a fill-in.
They're playing with the fill-in, and they just pulled off one of the most impressive hardpoint comebacks I've seen on 100 Thieves. All 100 Thieves, dudes get like 2 kills. 2 kills. I don't understand.
And not hit the old hill at 5 seconds before people. I mean, if they just rotate, it'd probably be good. But
yeah, I mean, again, I think Pac, you said it absolutely right. Yes, they won, and that was really the only good thing to say about what we just watched.
It's just like, if you're a player, like, we used to be players, and we expect things like just running into a series, going up against a team like that, you expect to win. And you go down 0-2.
They hadn't won a map before that.
Until
Listen, Mazer, they did their job. You know, they're here at the POQ. They had an unfortunate circumstance. They're playing with a fill-in. They haven't won a map going into today. I'm sitting down. I'm looking at my teammates. I go, yo, we've been struggling. We're about to absolutely smoke these guys. They haven't won a map yet. Like, bro, I got chips. Like, we're decorated. We're going to win this. Like, they win it, but, like, that is way too close. I'm stressed after that.
They only won because Mazer made like a couple key mistakes in S&D. Like that S&D could have gone either way. It was close.
Seen an ICR without a reflex. I thought he was playing Blackout.
Honestly, like, that was like a good match.
Yeah. That's the worst thing ever.
That was a good match.
That was a good game, man. Good game.
All right, well, I do want to bring up, of course, our next match, guys, on Alpha, which is going to be Tainted Minds versus Team Envy. And Tainted Minds, they need something.
Desperately. I mean, they're 1-3, and they just got 3-0 by Heretics. Tainted Minds, they definitely need a win, and they're going against the best team in their group right now. Envy looks like a force. They're 3-0, coming off of a 3-0 win. I don't see how there's any way Tainted Minds take this series, sitting at a 4-10 map count. Like, Envy just looks phenomenal. I think Hook will just bully these guys.
Envy's the only team. They're like the only team that's making me comfortable to watch. They're like the only. It's like some sense of normalcy out here.
Yeah.
Some team.
Envy's beating teams that they should beat. Wow, what a concept! These guys are world champs, and they're proving it. And they picked up Kyler. Like, please, just some normalcy. I'm watching 9-time champions give up 50 straight points. The guys that didn't even practice together. Mazer's literally asking each other where we're going off spawn. They don't know. Where do you break off to? What? Man.
The one thing about Envy that I'm hyped about is that they're closing out games, they're winning game 5s, and they're also having contributions from everybody on their team. Somebody's showing up every single day for them, which is important. That's how you win a championship, when different players contribute. Envy looks pretty good. I don't see how Tainted Minds even come close.
Well, we will see what is going to happen next here on day 3 of the Pro League qualifier. Pac-Man has made his opinion on 100 Thieves very known, but as we continue forward, we will see if they can pick things up. But coming up next on Alpha, we have Team Envy versus Tainted Minds.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pro League Qualifier. We have had some insane games, and I don't think this one will disappoint either. Tainted Minds going up against Team Envious. I'm actually very excited for this one. Team Envy, they look comfortable. Thank you, Clint, for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Did you just say this morning as well? Oh, I'm never late.
It's funny. Okay. I literally just said to Ethan, I'm always there, and I was talking to Ethan.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Don't worry, I crushed the intro.
Thanks, buddy. Really good job. I was sitting there, I'm talking to Ethan. I hear your voice, and I'm like, oh. I sprint over.
That's my guy right there. I really do appreciate it.
I'll never let you down. But that is funny because I literally said to Ethan, I'm always there, buddy. I've never missed it. There's like 2 minutes on the clock. He's like, get over there. I'm like, dude, I'm never late. And then I was sitting there talking to Ethan. So I blame him. But no, we're excited for this. We just had a great match, and now... I was in there, honestly, I was distracted by the guys were all messing. Mud Dog was in the back, and everyone was kind of trolling him a little bit with 100 Thieves' performance, so I was having a good laugh.
Well, yeah, because they were just up there roasting them.
Yeah. So they roasted and then went back and like, oh, what's up, Eric? It was a funny time. But we'll take a look at the overall best of 5 now for Tainted Minds versus Team Envy. The first day, they've been solid.
It just dealt with the schedule where their first 2 days they only had 1 match, and I just feel like with that sort of schedule, it can be tough to get you in the role of things.
Even in series, you know, you saw the slow start against Heretics, then they bring it back. They win
Game 5 Heretics, Game 5 versus G2, which are probably 2 of the toughest teams, and they took care of business. The first match of the day, now they have Tainted Minds.
Well, I feel like this is a match where you just need to come out and maybe assert your dominance if you're Envy. No slow starts, no 5-game series. Just show you're the former world champs. You added one of the top talents in Hook and come in here and throttle Tainted Minds.
We watched them on Hacienda. Did they win that game versus? No, they got smoked versus Heretics, right?
What was the hardpoint they got destroyed? No, this was Search here they got destroyed. Where Journey dropped 14 or 13 in the 6th round.
And well off to start Damage. You'll remember Damage from last year in our Pro League. He had some solid moments, I think, with Tainted Minds. Really, just the back half of the year, Tainted Minds continue to get better and better, but they have a new roster, right? Swifty, he went over to Mindfreak, who are having a great event. But you'll notice some of these names: Swiftazor, Setsi, Nimble, Damage, Zeppa. If you've watched the COD WLC World League before, you'll notice all 5.
Yeah, when you talk about APAC, it's been really 2 sides, Mindfreak and Tainted Minds. So you'll recognize a lot of the names, but they've sort of been in Mindfreak's shadow, and that shadow seems to be looming even larger over the course of this Pro League qualifier. But if they're going to get something going, maybe this is where it's going to happen. 28 points put up on the board on the first hard point. Now it's going to be Envy's turn to at least close out the hard point, but you see 3 players set up inside a garage for the side of Tainted Minds. They haven't been able to push out that close spawn. Well, actually, as I say that, it looks like they have enough of a forward influence that at 7 and 8, Assault and Hook spawn out pretty deep as they're going to have to cross over. So there's been no pressure towards garage yet for Envy.
Yeah, so I just got told in our ear if Envy do win this, they're not in the Pro League. They don't qualify automatically, but they are safe from elimination. They'll at least make it to bracket play.
Good to know,
again, if Envy win this, they'll be 4-0. It'll be pretty darn hard for them. There'll have to be some tiebreaker. That's what's always tough, guys.
Impossible to get 7th or 8th.
Right.
I'm sorry, 6th or 7th.
That's what's always tough, guys. I mean, we have to make sure our league operations team, they have to make sure there's no tiebreakers. There's always comes down to one thing.
I am never, ever saying that a team is qualified until it comes directly from League Ops, because we had that issue where I think it was talked about on the desk because, what was it, 2 years ago? Where Ghost Gaming, a bunch of tweets went out that they had made it in, so it got talked about then on the desk, and then turns out they hadn't made it in, and suddenly they lose all their matches and they don't get in.
Yeah, it was like a 3-way tie.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things where everyone just kind of assumes they are because it looks like they are, but there's always, like you said, that one scenario. Well, not always, but a lot of times there is that one scenario where maybe you're not glued in. So until I hear from Rami and our League Ops team, I'm never saying anybody's in.
Now, but taking a quick look back into this game, Setsi having a great one. He's positive 6, and Envy off to a very slow start. And this, I feel like, can be maybe a bit of a trap game for Envy, right? Because Tainted Minds, I believe, right now is 1-3. You're feeling comfortable. You had a great game this morning. Does Team Envy, and maybe you just overlook Tainted Minds. But again, we've said this a lot with Envy, where these guys can sort of play inconsistent at times.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, though, even if they do, they show that if they start a little bit slow, they can flip the switch. They can get going. They can turn it around. They've got the veterans, the talent on the squad to get it going, but they need to start bringing it back. On this particular map 1 it's a bit of a slow start, but they're still just floating around. Absolutely still in this game, but the opening spawns look to be set up for Tainted Minds. But as I say that, you have at least a little bit of a pinch opportunity. They're going to spawn up towards Garage. They're trying to get forward in. Swiftazor's going to be the one inside, but there's the pinch. So he'll end up dropping. But who's at number 2? Just
going ham right now.
Down in the water. Setsi and Damage going to be here to try to make a play. There they go. They
oh,
the alert.
The alert.
Somehow, Silly doesn't get finished. Finally, he will end up dropping, so they'll get right back into the hard point. Just kind of broke that, like, SEAL Team 6 out of the water as they come flying in.
I heard that's an APAC tactic. They learned it from Miles the Ross.
Yeah.
But I heard he's
former Navy SEAL Miles Ross?
Yeah. It's just some dolphin tactic he taught me about.
Contest fest right now. Whose Damage looks for an opening, but he's greeted by apathy. One of the greater performers when you talk about the World Championship events and what he's been able to do over the last 3 years. And it seems like maybe he's finally getting comfortable with that SOG. I mean, that was the big talk back and forth with him and Silly. Who was going to be running the SOG? Who was going to be able to take over the game with it? Who just really liked it, felt good with it.
And they had a great match this morning. You know, the first match of the day that we got to saw, apathy really took on over, especially in the respawns. You know, against Lightning Pandas, that was a huge match for Team Envy. Lightning Pandas in some trouble. But Envy still down in this one. They were down about 70 after a couple of hills. Now it's only down to 30, starting to fight their way on back.
Think they can pull it back?
Just looking for some guys when you start picking it up a bit. Assault sitting in double negative. Silly struggling a bit. But
they may have it.
Apathy and Hook are going off, and this is what we expect from these two. This SOG duo, I mean, as soon as the game came out and this roster formed, I was like, that's a scary submachine gun combination. It reminds me of Apathy and John, right, with that old Envy roster.
I can't remember if it was Study or Nameless. One of the guys on the desk said coming into the game, they thought that was probably your scariest duo.
It was online. It was like a week before the event where they changed, and Hook just blew himself up.
But the guy that really, I thought, picked it up at least yesterday in the series versus Heretics that we watched was Silly. Got a monster performance. We'll see when he starts to get things rolling, but it's going to be Nimble and Tainted Minds. Set up inside a garage. They've got all the way at that back statue, see at number 4. That's going to be Damage just trying to hold the back. As he's set up in a position that you see Assault not ready for. Nimble now going to invest his grab slam. But it's Silly with the Annihilator who, honestly, he was making plays with this, several versus Heretics that really stood out to us.
Now he's got to be careful here. Is he close to streak? Okay, nice little shoulder there. Just going to back away. 20 seconds left, but Hook able to find 2. You can see all the green arrows just sort of turn around after that. So they start to rotate towards fences.
Don't feed him kills, don't feed him streaks. I mean, there's not much you can do when you have a pre-aimed Annihilator in that spot. Even a little bit of that shoulder peek was scary, but can he make a play to get any streaks? The quick and resounding answer is no. Is Damage able to pick him off? I don't know, maybe let a teammate slide in first and pick up that kill.
Right behind you. Just bait him. That's the one point where I'm like, all right, you're 200 points away. You can be a little bit selfish, but you did hear the Tempest. Now the War Machine coming out, so Tainted Minds starting to call theirs in. Nice little combination there as Aches was down from that Tempest hit. That's going to be Setsi trying to find anything he can. But really just a back and forth game right now. Swiftazor, a very effective War Machine. We've seen teams get a lot better at sort of negating the effect of it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see 4 kills picked up with it all that often.
Just 2 to 3.
Well, I mean, I've seen someone with Flak take 3 shots just to take down at times.
Oh, it runs out.
But now, you really need to make sure that Envy doesn't get the tail end of this time. You feel like, I mean, I know it's tough to get that full 60, but still, you invest War Machine, you invest Tempest. Yeah, I guess, I mean, it puts you in the lead. You lose these final 20 seconds, you can get set up for next, but you'd like to, I don't know, maybe get a little bit more time out of that. Or at least make sure those final seconds are contested a bit more.
Apathy starting to work through Garage. Nice shots on the Nimble. Let's see what Tainted Minds is doing. They're trying to control both sides, but Envy will spawn up near this Garage. Swift is able to find a couple. Zeppa now with the Annihilator of his own. He's able to hit a couple of shots. You saw, I think Assault pulled out his Tempest as well.
Okay, well,
starting to go
now
off.
it looks good. You know, you get the 40 seconds or so behind your
45 away.
War Machine and Tempest, and now you have this to pop, so the early rotation really paying off. But he's going to get caught, and now it's the Specialist on the other side as Assault brings out the Tempest, and he's just cutting them down.
Clint, they got to walk through a door. Just be patient. You're 25 off streak. Sit in the hill.
I think you said that Silly could have been a little bit more patient for his streaks. I think it stands out even more with a position like that with the Annihilator out.
Facilities was a little bit different where they had to like push up, break the hill. They had to
rotate and make a play. Here you just can sit. Looks like, unfortunately, for the time being, we've lost our top banner, so your guess is as good as mine what's available. But we did just see a lot of the specialist weapons invested over these last couple hard points from both teams. And as it stands, basically a tie game. Tatum Mine's up 4 as we'll focus now to our third set of rotations. Tatum Mine gets inside, but Setsi gets picked up almost immediately. It's going to be attack 5 boost. Now called in for this NV roster. But no one's really been able to get a foothold bottom mid. Now they're throwing 2-3 players at it from Tatum Mines. Just try and get any kind of separation, but Aches tucked away in a pocket finds himself a kill.
That's still 25 points away. Tatum Mines though focusing on this lobby area. Right, Garage is coming up next, and what does the rest of Envy do? They're just going to try to attack the front. Assault with a nice shot on the damage. Big 1 versus 1 there. Ace, well, you're not going to check the corner. That is a great push out of Envy to get the position early on. And
there's nothing, right? No, nothing on either side with just about a 200-200 score line. So
Hook's close.
If Tatum Mines is going to break it in, this is going to need to be behind the gunplay. And so far, the kill feed all lighting up blue as you've got these power positions around Garage. As Salt just doing damage at range, 2 damage, and making sure he can't find any kind of foothold towards this hard point. And on the other end, it's Aches finding multiple kills.
Nimble and Switchazor, though, they just come right through the staircase. The trophy's still up for Envy, but this is a big 35-second Took now trying to fight on back. Watch that grab slam. If he's able to get that and get in this Garage,
he's trying
to make a big play, trying to just stay on alive. Now he's going to help out his teammate Aches. He talked about the multiple kills. He was able to get it to front, goes in, able to find a couple of more. I think Hook was trying to get a little tricky there. Ends up getting caught, and Switchazor able to find 3 of his own.
Switchazor and Setsi making the plays. Setsi. They're making the play, and they now have a 10-point advantage. You know what he got out of this War Machine last time. Picked up 4 kills.
Switchazor has 36 kills right now.
Monster performance. Does he get anything else? No, he's going to end up dropping because Assault and Silly push on through. Hook tries to connect on the grab slam. Might have picked up a couple of kills, but he gets dropped. So Envy will be set up inside. 232. Tatum Mines have got to break in, and I don't know that they have anything else to work with. Nimble was close to picking up his grab slam, but that's not going to get there. 10 seconds now needed for Envy. They're coming deep off spawn. Hook's going to be set up top middle. You've got Silly picking up kills in the back. The final seconds will tick in. Tatum Mines is nowhere close. And Envy survive map 1.
And for me, that game just comes down to that rotation of Garage, right? When we saw 3 of Envy push to the front, you saw how many resources Tatum Mines had. They were starting to rotate, they were controlling lobby, but they didn't expect Envy to already be set up in there.
And you saw, I think for the most part, they got pretty good uses out of their specialists, and they chained together the War Machine Tempest, and the next hard point they use their Annihilator, but then all they have is that War Machine towards the tail end. And yeah, if he gets another 4 kills with it in that scenario, they probably get a break and maybe take over, but not similar results. And Envy is able to get it done. So we've seen series where they've started slow and brought it back. Now they get the map on the board. Can they just kind of close this out and run away with it?
They absolutely can. But I mean, if you look at last year, with Tatum Mines, it was their search and destroy that kept them in the game a lot of the times. Behind guys like Damage, it was Swifty who was on this team. He had a great sniper. We've seen that so far with Mindfreak. You know, Mindfreak sitting at 4-0. You know, another impact team is really stepping it up.
I think what's scary, you know, we casted Payload Search and Destroy. That was the game 5 between Heretics and Envy. And if we saw anything from Envy, at least on offense, they were dominating towards that A site. They were sending 4 or 5 players and completely crushing. Well, I guess hopefully they watched it, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just how do you stop that, right? That's sort of the big question mark. Do you give up the bomb set?
And we know this was their pick versus Heretics, so you got to think this game 2, this is Envy's choice. That they want to play Payload.
Unless it wasn't. They love that. They love to hear that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if Tatum Mines didn't do the research and it was going to their strong, or just maybe it's a strong map for Tatum Mines too. But
or they're trying to counter them. They did so much watching yesterday. They were like, let's play it on.
Okay. I think you have to favor Envy in this though. If you watch that match versus Heretics, because they got rolled in Hacienda Search. It was a 6-0 in about 3 minutes. But they got the Payload. It's a completely different game where they outclassed Heretics. So Envy. They saw success really on either ends of it with offense and defense, but what I think stood out to us the most was just what they were able to do towards A on offense. And it was, I think, if I remember correctly, like their first 3 offenses, they took it to the site. Maybe first 2, but it was just bullying their way in.
And there you can see, you heard the guys on the desk sort of say, Envy is the one team right now where everything is kind of making sense. They beat everybody they were supposed to. Their map count looks great. Their record is perfect.
The only thing
everywhere else is chaos.
Yeah.
Absolute chaos in all the other pools.
God, this is just going to come down to, I mean, for a lot of those teams that aren't performing how you expected, just really how the bracket is set up, like who's on top, who's on bottom, where these matchups come in, because I know it's double elimination, but still, I mean, you don't want to have playing another North American
Sunday's going to be fun.
Oh, Sunday's going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun. We have, what, like 7 bracket play matches?
Yeah, we're going to have 7 matches. But talking about Tainted Minds, these guys, I mean, they look good. Swift Azor had a great game 1. I don't know how many kills he ended up finishing with.
I think when you called it out, 34, 35, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, 36. And again, when we watched them last year, it was really search and destroy. But a bit of a different roster. They've lost some pieces. They added some.
Yeah, sometimes it must be frustrating if you're Tainted Minds and you think about how the APAC region sort of works. It feels like you're almost an academy team for Mind Freak at times. It's like when, and I don't mean that like a negative way, it's just when Mind Freak picks players up, a lot of times that's where it's coming from. It's coming, hell, even Beasted, I know he wasn't on Tainted Minds recently, but he was, that's where he kind of came up that I remember from the back in the Black Ops 3 days. So it just seems like, Tainted Minds improve and then Mind Freak plucks away a player.
I mean, it's not the only reason that you've seen that. I mean, it used to happen in Europe a lot. There was always like 1 to 2 teams in Europe. They would just poach talent.
And that's just more, I think, just because there's a smaller pool of players in teams.
Well, and people want to play with like the champs of that.
Yeah,
region,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
you want to play with the best people. People want to play with Fighter. People want to play with Shocks. They absolutely do. Yeah.
Let's see if they can come out and surprise anyone. You said what, 1 and 3 right now they're sitting? So I mean, they're if you look at where they are, I mean, they need a win here to start talking about the 3 through 5 position. They go 1 and 4. You're talking bottom 2, no chance to get to the Pro League.
Yeah, this would be a big win.
You have to win. I mean, at this point, you can't be 1 and 4. You're not getting into the bracket.
There could be a weird 2 to 4 tiebreaker thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, but that's one of those situations where you're not.
Who else is in this pool?
Not controlling your own destiny. You got to try and get to 3 and 3 here.
There's just still some strong teams. I haven't heard too much about G2 in their run, since really when we saw them versus Envy. Lightning Panda's obviously 0-3 right now.
God, yeah.
Heretics has been fantastic. They're still that Fact Revolution team who started off 2-0.
And remember, we saw Hook with that kind of attempted push in one of the rounds. Remember, he just tries to get really aggressive outskirts to open things up. Unfortunately, I believe it's the Swordfish from Ace, which takes him down, but now they're able to find one.
I don't like that.
They can find 2.
Seems like Sensi just threw his life away. Now they're just getting picked apart. You have the man advantage, and we're just seeing that a little bit too much, where people are getting a little too aggressive. After that first blood, you can sort of regroup, back on up. You have a ton of time to work with. They still had a minute when that first blood came in.
So now you get the plant down in a 2v4. This is doable, but you've got to obviously find the first kill, make it interesting, and be able to get away with your life. They're going to set up in the back.
Too.
Oh my God, they stacked for him. And Swift Azor from a 2v4 to a 2v2. This is a round you cannot lose, Envy. Apathy, though, makes the play, puts it all on Nimble as Apathy goes huge for the squad, because that would have been a very frustrating round 1.
Oh, man.
Well, it had to have been an awkward scenario for Swift Azor to pick up 2 there.
Ace is.
Why are you in my way? Who got in my way first, and I killed him, and now you're bunching up?
Look at him. He's like, it wasn't me, it was you.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
There's no stock on the Swordfish. He's probably turning in somebody's way as they're trying to make up.
Well, it was Assault and Ace, so they're both probably just trying to challenge that top gunfight. Like
100%. That's probably what it was. Just both of them. I can see both just preempt.
Pat, you were in my way. No, dude, you were in my way.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how it likely went down.
And they are still winning. And App is just like, well, I got them both.
App's like, yeah, guys, I
won the round.
Settle down. Let's focus on the next round. So the offense is where we were talking about really their dominance in the series versus Heretics. I'm curious if they kind of go back to that bread and butter push we really saw. Just, hey, A is going to be our site. Get the hell out of the way.
Well, and then maybe there's the research from Tainted Minds. They're sending 4, but it looks like Envy switching it up a little bit, going straight to that B site. Damage now. Just going to get this information, probably back on up, and that's exactly what he wants to do. It sounds like I heard a snipe. Maybe Ace. Ace is usually the sniper for him.
Is that one of those things where you're like, hey, they've watched our gameplay. They know we were going A. We're going to hit B to kick things off, maybe?
Yeah, let's just run the B strat. I'm sure they saw us play Heretics, go A a ton. We'll show them a B right off the start, so they have to at least play towards that. Now we can switch it up. But look at Tatum Mines. Numbers 1 and 5 going on a very far flank. Assault trying to watch it. That's a tough gunfight win, but he's able to do it and finds one on Zeppa. I don't think he's going to expect a second there.
But does it matter once the rest of your team is dropped? Good luck. Nimble. 1v4, 20 seconds to work with, and he's just trying to find somewhere to get off the map. Bye-bye.
Well, it's just pretty out there.
It really is beautiful. Shout out to Treyarch for your fantastic art.
Mountain ranges. You're still in my way.
What? Ace always looks pissed until like the series is over. I just want Ake's comms at all times. Looking good thus far. 2-0 to start off for Envy. Even with a team kill to kick off their first offensive round, they're still able to pull it out. Setzy now with the snipe out. Aches has it on the other end though. He wins his one-on-one towards the A site, so that pick comes through, and that gives man advantage. And Apathy's yet to die. I mean, he's 5-0 in this game, so you got to think he's starting to build towards streaks. As I say that, Apathy gets pushed. Somehow stays alive in the corner. Nice help from Silly. So great stun in, but great teamwork from Envy to keep him alive. As Apathy's going hot.
Yeah, they're trying to chase him down. Apathy wants those streaks, but now he's going to play maybe a little bit safer. Yeah, he's going to stun on in. Probably not find anything. Be 100 points away. So got to be careful here. I think, again, just wait for your teammate. Bait your teammate, please.
Oh! Almost cut down. Yeah, 22 HP, but survives to maybe see another gunfight. Aches hits another snipe. And Setzy going to give us a nice view of the map, more than likely. Bye-bye. As we see the other side of these beautiful mountain ranges.
I'd love to go sledding in that area, you know. Looks great.
Are you a snowboarder or a skier?
No.
I went snowboarding once. I was so sore the next day I couldn't stand and never went again.
Sundance always makes skiing look like a lot of fun.
Guy skis every day. 3 times a week.
I always want to try it.
No, I'd break my neck.
Yeah, we'll just play COD.
Just safer. Envy have firmly controlled these rounds after a kind of back and forth cutthroat like game 1. But Apathy, the big story here is he has started out 5-0. Aches hits a couple of snipes last game, starts to feel himself a bit, but can't pick it up. Apathy at least gets one. Can he get anything more behind this? But it's going to be just him and Silly to have to try and clutch here in a 2v4. Trying to grab that Maddox. He's able to pick that up too. So I'll have that duo to work with. Add maybe a little bit of range to his repertoire, depending on these gunfights, as they're trying to take it back to A. But you've got Swift Azure there, ready and waiting top window. And he's just playing this so patient, worried about them maybe pushing it through.
But I like that play.
Get the plant. Just get the plant down. Get more streaks, right?
Yeah.
Comes the Hellstorm.
Tatum Mines might not know it yet, but they're just going to try and secure this round win.
But what if he gets full streaks here? He knows he has picked. He knows he has a free kill on Swift. I was about to say a free kill, but he almost snapped and reacted. But heck, you're up 3-0. You'll take that round loss. You'll get the full streaks on Apathy. And it's just a big play for him to get streaks, considering the scenario he was put in, right? Like
Still,
3 of his teammates drop in front.
So this is one of those maps where it is tough to get an effective Hellstorm and Lightning Strike, depending. You'll probably use it on the attacking side, go towards that A site, blow up those crates that we always talk about.
So maybe not as influential, but you'll still always want to have them.
Well, I mean, the drone squad, we saw Silly clutch that round when they all died.
Oh, yeah, the 6th man on the map.
Whoa.
Those things laser beam two players.
That Nick made? I got to find it.
Oh, was it? Those drones were insane. They just got obliterated. Both just dropped instantly, and you and I were like, what the hell just happened? Tatum Mines just talking it through, just looking for any kind of opening. The aggression there paid off and got them an early foothold. Full squad, drone squad, that's great. Oh. It's so good. Okay.
Almost the same thing.
Are you kidding? Come on, Ace.
Well, stop running in my way. It just keeps happening.
If he would have killed him again, that would have been hysterical. But now they're going to call him the TAC 5 with man advantage. Hook somehow survives his teammate this time. Gets back to mid, gets eyes on Nimble, able to take that one-on-one. There's one more in the back. The trade is there. Apathy basically feeds them a team kill as Swiftazor gets a bullet in to his teammate. And another round that is just ugly here for Tandem Mines. Zeppa just going to have to try and make a play, but nothing he can do. Silly wins the gunfight, and that'll do it for another round. And the rounds Envy are winning. They're winning them comfortably, that's for sure.
Yeah, it just starts with that first blood. Obviously, this time, Pat doesn't shoot Hook. So Hook's able to get into a great position with that SOG, win that 1-versus-1. Then he just plays his life. Does a wonderful job staying alive. But it's really just those openings. Again, every time we talk about those first bloods, I would love to see the win percentage. Of course, we'll see more stats like when the Pro League happens. But right now, first blood just seems so important.
If I'm Hook, I'm like, give me the swordfish. You run in front of me.
Yeah, right. Stop shooting me.
Ace has been getting work done with the sniper on the defensive end. This time it's going to be an ICR. Nimble's going to go low.
And every time he's just setting up Hook for down low. And now they're going to push, but Nimble able to win that one with the Maddox. Ace had an ICR in his hands, so 3-versus-3. Stun is out. That's a good one on a Hook. That allows Setsi to work his way on up. So maybe Tandem Mines just inching their way back into this game. Don't have any specialists available yet for Silly or Assault. 50 seconds to work with.
You can see all of Tandem Mines now rotated towards that B site. As Envy just kind of circling the map, trying to hope they can find a pick anywhere. Just even the odds. They're going to try and stick this, but this is right when the rotation comes in, and Assault's watching. The wrong end. He does get it down, though, which maybe gives Assault a chance, but there are 3 players he's got to take on. Stun comes in. Now they hop it. They're on it now, so Assault's got to be in play, and they're ready and waiting. Nimble's on it. Second round in the books. He's going to hop off to maybe give some added progression to Setsi, and they're going to waste a little bit of time to maybe just work towards their specialists. They've obviously been pretty far behind as they're getting outclassed and outkilled when you take a look across the top banner.
But still a very disciplined round, and that's what we've seen from both of the round wins from Tandem Mines. They open up the map, and then they regroup. They just stick as a unit, going around, rotating together. They find that first kill. They stun Assault, and well, he just has no choice. I mean,
has to check it, yeah. And then you have 2 people pre-aimed on you. Not a lot he can do. Someone just told Jess something funny.
Yes.
That might have come through the mic. I feel like I haven't seen that many. Like, there's been clutch like team scenarios, but not that many. Like, have you seen like a 1v3, 1v4, anyone that kind of pulled off in Search? Like, I haven't seen anything that crazy.
It's pretty difficult to do.
In this game, with the healing element. And
obviously, I think we'll see probably a little bit more with specialists. Obviously, you know, Annihilators going to make big plays,
yeah,
Tempest, Grab Slams. We see a couple of 1-versus-2s. But again, teams have just gotten better at dealing with them.
Now Apathy.
There's the ping. Oh, and that's... Oh, they trade, actually. And would that player just fall off the map? Oh, I thought he did.
So the trade comes in. Just a ping. From the lighting. Nice shot from Aix. Advantage back to Envy in this 4v3. You take a look at the number 1. Zeppa wrapping the whole way around.
He got through. Assault was shouldering it. He didn't see him.
Oh, my God.
That's like the second time we've seen this same play. All right.
And Assault's like, what just happened to me? Thankfully for Envy, the rest of the squad there is to close that out. They'll still keep man advantage as the trade comes through.
Bevels is going to be like, Adam, stop shouldering it. Just watch the cross, please. And now Setsi has the help of Swiftazor from up top. That 3-versus-2 just gets thrown away. Now a 1v2, but Silly, he does have the Annihilator. He's going to opt for that. 1v1. Bomb has to go down. Now looks like he's played this perfectly. Swiftazor, though, didn't start plenty yet. Now he's going to challenge back and forth. Oh.
Swiftazor, that is not how you clutch a 1v1. That's not how you do it. You got to stay on the map.
Good try.
No, that's not a good try, Joe. That's not a good try.
No, it's not. Setsi here with some great shots on the 2 players, and then...
Well, he does well when he's on the map and shooting.
Well, that was... Yeah, I mean, that was Swiftazor.
Yeah, that's a good point. They both start with an S. I get confused.
Yeah, Sweatsy.
Sweatsy.
The duo.
Sweatsy Betsy.
The duo.
Oh, wow. All right, well, that'll be a 5th round for Envy. they didn't really need to win that.
It's a big clutch out of Sealy.
Yeah. In between the drone squad play he had, now people falling off the map in 1v1s, like Silly's just terrifying his opponents.
This is his map. Aches almost snaps on the switches, or you did see the drone squad called in. And there we go, just floating around. Silly, he's going to find a couple of kills. You hear the Tempest as well. Envy is trying to put this one away. Silly's going to find 3.
And the Tempest you heard got his head ripped off by Silly. He doesn't need to heal. 82 health in a dream as Silly finds 4. He gets the clutch in the 1v1, if that's what we want to call it, and then 4 with the Annihilator. He's really been a bright spot with that weapon, man. I feel like every time, at least you and I have seen him pull it out, he's making plays.
I still just saw Pat just pointing at his screen. Looked like he was giving these guys some sort of speech. I don't know, man.
He's keeping them honest, Joe. Patty P. And the boys of Envy up 2-0 with a resounding win there in the game 2. Control up next, the swing game. Containment Mines, bring it back. Advantage for Envy. And what's looking good for them, we're starting to see at least a little bit of a pattern in the matches that we've casted. You know, their go-to that they like to play on Control against Heretics was Gridlock, but they looked very strong. The Search, which was their pick, was the Payload, which saw them look strong again. So starting to see maybe some of the stronger maps for Envy develop over the course of this Pro League qualifier. If they look anything like they did against what I think is a superior team in Heretics, they're winning this game 3. This is a 3-0.
Yeah, and anytime you talk Envy, it's really around their vetoes. They're a team that always is very good at playing with them. When you look at Seattle, right, when they got second place, it was due to their vetoes. I mean, obviously it was great play, but they were like undefeated on some maps that weekend.
St. Marie Hardpoint.
Then look at COD Champs, you know, their run. They forced TK in the grand finals to make some adjustments. It just feels like this team, they sort of get you to overthink some things from time to time when it comes to vetoes.
For all we know, maybe this is a sensational map for Tainted Minds, but we will have to see if they can hang with what we saw. Just an incredible effort.
They were a restart.
Yeah, I'm gonna think all those team kills more than likely.
Nice. New game mode.
New game mode. Who can kill their teammates fastest?
That's the way Control works. Yeah, win faster.
All right, so sorry about that, guys. We'll get right back into it in a second. But yeah, I think you have to heavily favor Envy on this just based on results that you've seen so far this week. And Tainted Minds obviously haven't had the best week. This might be the final nail in the coffin for their chances of even competing in the bracket. And I don't think many people likely had them in. I think Mind Freak was obviously in a way a dark horse within their pool. We know what they're capable of. Mind Freak's always been around. They've been in all the pro leagues. Yes,
but even Mind Freak was a very low seed.
Yeah, they were, but I know for me, I personally expected them to get it. I talked to Shocks day one. He's like, I didn't think you'd have me in with the trash you talk during the pro league sometimes. He's like, oh, I think you'll get in. I think you'll get in through his qualifier. Well, I talk trash if you perform poorly in the pro league. I absolutely will.
Yeah,
but
that'll probably happen.
Yeah, but with this new look roster with Mind Freak, they've been looking very, very strong.
Yeah, I just didn't know how the two new guys were going to sort of just mesh with the roster. Obviously, again, you know, Buzzo's gone. Excite was dropped as well off of Mind Freak. They didn't like their Vegas performance at all, and they made some changes. It's obviously working. But for Tainted Minds, maybe one thing to look at, maybe Mind Freak will pick one of them up as a sub. There's always that option for the Pro League. We'll see.
What was the rule? How did it work with, I know it changed last year a little bit, but early on when we first switched after Black Ops 3, it was 2 APAC teams, right? Was it 1 or 2? That were always in. I'm trying to remember how the region breakdown works.
Would have been IW. I'm trying to remember. Was it 1? I only remember Mind Freak and IW, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you might be right. I was trying to think if it was 1 or 2. I was just trying to think if it's going to be a little bit of a different result here. But obviously last year had things kind of mixed up to some degree. But it's looking like Mind Freak will be the only representation. Unless Tainted Minds can pull off their reverse sweep. But if they're going to do it, it's going to start here. Gridlock Control. We're locked. We're loaded. We're getting back in. But it is a uphill battle.
Now look at this little split push. That Tainted Minds is showing a lot of pressure at A, and well, when you get that first kill, that's going to force rotation. But guess what? There's 3 players from Tainted Minds at the B, as they're starting to at least maybe get one take. And you love that, and we'll see what else they can get as Zeppa and Setzi start to find some kills, and Zeppa able to find 2. That's 2 takes already towards his B side. And when we talk this map, B is much tougher to get. And it looks like they might get it right off the break. That's a great start for Tainted Minds.
I don't know that I've ever seen a team get B early and not win the round. I mean, basically, if you get it,
well,
you're going to lock it down on A.
That we saw it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Yeah. But typically, if you get B quickly, I mean, we know A a lot easier just based on kind of the positioning and how quickly you can reinforce it from an offense. Honestly, it's a much shorter run. It's just to get a presence there onto this zone. But it's Setzi trying to develop a bit of a pinch here with Swiftazor, but the problem is his teammates are also getting spawn killed by Hook and Apathy. So even though they're trying to make plays here on Swiftazor, his teammates aren't even able to group up. I mean, he's doing a great job here. It's just his teammates get out of it because Hook has picked up a couple of kills. He's still alive and still being a nuisance. So that entire stretch there of what? 30 to 45 seconds where he's making plays to delay the reinforcements from the side of Envy, his teammates can't get involved either because Apathy and Hoop doing the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, that's always the thing, right? When you control a point so early as the attacking team, you have about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, where you can really just play around the map. If you usually have a kill life advantage, but right now that has disappeared as Envy. Well, they're starting to do it, though, but Swiftazor going on a huge play. Now, what is he going to decide to do? Is he going to go for some spawn kills? It's Setzi is able to find a few. And it looks like that's what he's doing. He's going to try and cut off the reinforcements for Envy. He's going to find one. spot the second as well. Just buy time. Seriously, get inside A, and they've done just that.
Yeah, and even though he hasn't found his kill yet, I mean, he ultimately gets it, but just the time he is buying, the time he's being a distraction. They've now got a 4-stack on the point. They're almost to the second one already. They try to get in, but Ace gets traded out. Now Assault backed up with that concussion, and this is likely over. There you go. They get Zone A, and that's why I was saying, if you get Zone B, you really just need, typically with Zone A, one good push.
One push, yep.
One good push. If you get set up, you're going to get it. And to be fair, Envy did a hell of a job holding for as long as they did, but
it was really just that split push off the start. But the big difference is most teams, I think, are used to split pushes, but it's because whoever that player was to open the round got the first kill, and I think that forced the hand of Envy. That goes the way of Envy. They all rotate back, and they probably can tell.
Well, it's just I think you look at it and said, I don't know. Yes, it's a bit of a coin flip, but also there's a, I don't know, high risk, high reward if you try to hit B first.
Yeah, you can waste a lot of time.
Yeah,
waste a lot of lives.
See the exact opposite type of push from Envy is they just want to fly in, lock down A, and they're going to do just that. You see one push, that point is going to be gone. Envy looking to bring it back in Game 3 and close out this series. Let's hear the comms with an Astro Gaming listen-in with Envy.
He went to the right, color. I didn't hit him.
What's Soda on
Grand?
me?
Under bridge, meat damage. I'm going top. On the bridge.
Ran out.
Bridge, watch out, stop shooting. On the bridge zone.
On the bridge. No, mid. I heard him. He's hole.
I'm re-pitching hole. Hold that back one shot. Just for wood.
Yeah, for sure wood. Keep point kills.
Yeah, it's like kills. Help on the back. Help on small trap. Wait, where's the Laundry.
Loading. I think he's under bridge.
Water bridge.
Water short. There's two on me.
On
the bridge. Yeah, there's two back.
Let's see back truck.
Running ICR. Two back hill.
Yeah, back fire.
Where's wood at?
Laundry.
Back hill. Absolute. The inner wood.
Yeah.
Back bus. Try step laundry.
I think, or top. I just saw him on fog. Two laundry mid. They double pushed me out. Two laundry. I think he's our roof. I think.
Yeah, he must be your
He is. Top window. Absolutely. Got him.
Alright. Peek mid.
Close to me. One shot.
Down. Please.
Stay up. We just need a 5 hit.
Hold mid for a sec. Hold mid until we get a pick.
I don't have my grapple yet.
Alright, I'm watching it. Under sushi, Setsi. I'm on 18 pad. Alright. Your bottom, right?
Yeah. They're front. The sushi. What's the sushi?
Back 18. I think it's back 18.
I'm looking at 18.
Yeah, let's about ready? All three guys go. I'm watching inside. Watch out. You guys go. Wave 18.
Let's go.
Doing sushi. Left and right.
He's not big. I can't kill him either.
I got one. One more in the sushi weak. He's playing Z. He's front wood. Behind your wood. You going alley?
Yeah, let's go.
I have no idea.
One push front wood. 50 seconds.
Alright, one front wood and the last two are sushi. Front wood and two sushi. I don't see front wood. Quick truck. Yo, Z weak. Hop bridge. And Z, I think.
What guy's hitting mid or not?
Let's go around.
Gotta go around, bro. Swift is hitting mid. I mean, we have 35
Think
seconds.
on me. I mean, close think.
Well, we talked about how good Envy has looked on this map in mode, but Tainted Minds taking it to them. They win the first round. They now have a huge advantage here. 9 kills at 16 versus 7, and a streak to work with.
I mean, Setsi is 16-4 right now. Having a hell of a game.
How surprised are you by this result right now?
I'm definitely surprised, but don't take away the Game 1 performance, I think, from Tainted Minds. Remember, they were down, they lost by 15 points in that hard point. Swiftazor was going off. So we know they can play with them. They're going for this TAC 5 boost. This would be a huge round. We always talk about having a 2-round advantage, what it can do with the economy.
Oh, no!
He was specialist, but he blows up his teammate.
And I think damage was like 125 off streaks, too, and he falls, so no streak's going to come in.
That's
but
all right.
They should be able to get the round victory unless Assault can do something insane, and he does not. Zeppa locks it down. But, yeah, I mean, the two... Yeah, you're right. I mean, the game 1 was very close. I guess I was wondering if that was less about the Tainted Minds' performance and maybe another slow start from Envy to kind of get going in the game. But now they are absolutely taking it to Envy.
Again, a lot of these guys on Tainted Minds have a ton of international experience now. Obviously, we could talk about their practice and criticize that as well, where they're not playing the best teams in the world. But if they're playing against Mind Freak a good amount, that obviously has to help. But they've been here before. They've been in these sort of situations. We saw in Game 1 they can slay with the likes of Envy. Just a couple of small decisions that doesn't give them that win. But they're looking great here in control.
Can Envy show some life? Well,
Zeppa!
Connection after connection and close to streaks as well as he's 225 off. He's hungry for more kills. One on the flank, just trying to find Aches as he wraps back towards Tree. Just can't find an opening. He whiffs on a couple, but he's still up. 75 points off, and he flies in. But it's going to be Aches that finds the kill. He gets dropped by his teammate shortly after it, but he at least makes sure there's no more streaks on the table.
You also heard the War Machine as well from Swiftazor. I don't know if I like that decision to try to break into A site. Like, we talk about how much easier it is to attack A. I think you can just follow that up with the Annihilator, but they do get 2 ticks, maybe 3 at B Envy. Are they going to try and contest this? It doesn't look like it. And Tainted Minds, once again, they're setting up this split push.
And it's just, you don't see it all that often where you see B coming through first, and maybe that's just part of why they're catching Envy a little bit off guard. You know, maybe they're just used to that presence at A. It's been a much more standard hit, just kind of swarm and pick that up, and then, I mean, it's such a different game. It flips it on its head when you just talk about the scenarios you're in, depending on what gets knocked out first.
Now, lives are tied, but you hear the Hellstorm start to go off. That's a nice stun in Zeppa.
But again, it's that one break. There's so many lives on the table, and they just need one good break. Envy have got to play defense for 90 seconds.
You do have Grab Slam. You do have Annihilator if you have to use it, which, I mean, they may. Here comes that split push from Tainted Minds, sending a couple through the side of Envy. They find the kills. Setzy, he's going to get taken care of. Swiftazor and Nibble trying to stay alive. And it looks like Envy might hold off on this push, but you can see they're trying to get pushed up and get that spawn kill damage. He's going to find Hook off spawn, so now they have a 4 versus 5 advantage on this side of the map.
Zeppa will be the last one up.
He got caught.
And yep, like you say, he gets caught there. You have Tempest still available on Setzy. But Team Envy continue to trade effectively, and they have the 4-kill advantage. In the first round, they held for so long until eventually breaking. 50 more seconds on the clock and 13 lives remaining for Tainted Minds. As Envy, you know, you think they're out of it coming into this round. They win this round. It's a completely different game.
Yeah, but you see of all of these specialists that were used.
Yep.
Nimble does have Grab Slam. This just screams Grab Slam. To me, it absolutely will be. Does find Hook. But only one. Able to find the second before Silly took down 2 of his teammates, though. He's trying to stay alive.
Silly going clutch.
Remember, Silly's the guy with the Annihilator, right? Silly and Hook are the 2 guys who are going to try and defend this. Yep, Hook goes in, finds 2.
And that's so helpful in just clearing this out. So they have to use Grab Slam and Tempest. So you talked about how many things were used by Tainted Minds to try and close it out. Now Envy, just to get this round on the board, extend this game, they've got to put a lot into it. Assault, very close. Oh, sorry, who was right off streaks? Was it Apathy? It was Apathy. It was really close. So Assault still has a way to go, but Apathy just needs 35 points, and he's going to get caught as he tries to slide out.
And hold on. I mean, Tainted Minds is still in this. Silly's trying to stay alive and buy time.
Nice
That's a big gunfight when, as you said, Hookdale going to find the second. Now it's just on to 2.
It got very, very interesting. It's not quite done yet, but now it's one player going to be remaining. Nimble trying to dance. But time will run out, so Envy now going to get on the board. And Silly won a big one there, because I think that was scarier than it may have looked. Like, if you take a look at the time and the kills, the lives remaining, like, it looks like Envy have it locked down.
Yeah, Silly doesn't get that kill, and that gets a little bit scary. Hook would have been all alone.
Could have been a different outcome for sure.
You know, you 3 or 4 stack those points. Progresses very quickly. This is something you don't typically see. He's very, very vocal from Silly.
I'm sure he's feeling hyped after that gunfight went.
Yeah, right.
So he's smoking. So we'll take a look at the overall specialist weapons, what's available now. So Silly had that Annihilator, which he's been so good with. And you've got a way to go for everything on Tainted Minds. So you have to think, just purely based on that and the fact, you know, it's the offensive side of things for Envy, that they've got what it takes to maybe push this to a 5th and final round.
But there's Envy with the split push. They get early control towards this B. They force everyone off of it. Tainted Minds, though, starting to rotate on back. Assault watching the flank. Silly's going to get taken down. Nice shots by Setzy. But Aches, Hook, and Assault still alive on the map. This is a big play. Looks
Can
like
they get at least 2? Can they get at least 2? It looks like they're going to get through the second. There is third person comes in. You see a bar moving in even faster. They just can't get through this. ICR locking it down, and Hook close range making the plays. There's B gone. as Envy bringing it back with a 3-life advantage and B off the board. So now Tatum Mines have to do what Envy was just able to do.
And if you,
a long defense here today.
If you take a look at the specialist as well, if you're silly, I mean, you would love to hold on to this till round 5. We'll see. Maybe they'll try a push or two without it because there's no specialist on the side of Tatum Mines. Swiftazor is getting close, but he gets taken down. So 3 versus 3 inside the site, but that's a nice kill. But Assault comes out of flank, able to find one. Did he find the second? He at least weakens him up for his teammate. I'm not sure who that was. I think that's Aches.
How is Zeppa still alive?
Zeppa just buying time.
Andy got a kill. Andy actually picked up a kill. Assault, though, 175 off streaks as he plays inside. The contest now going to come through. Assault wants to pick these up desperately. There's a gunfight assist, so that'll put him 50 away. But the presence stays here. They can reinforce it so quickly, and now a lightning available for Assault. A drone squad available for Assault.
He's 250 off a
strike team.
Yeah.
We haven't seen many of those.
I think the only one we saw from was from his teammate, Aches. Likes to call those in.
200 now off. If he can pick that up, wow, do you favor them
game over.
in round 5? If they can actually get there, though. They haven't closed it out yet, but they're halfway to this final bar. He's 75 off. Just needs a little bit of help. The push comes in. He falls just short of the strike team. And the defense still holds from Tainted Minds.
It's only a 1 life difference. Silly might have to use it.
Yeah, he's wanting to save this for the final round. What do you think?
I think you have to use it. You have the streaks. Actually, Assault's going to call this in. Swiftazor that pops the War Machine. Ace is going to get taken down. Nice trophy from Envy. Envy know they have a lot of time to work with, right? They have 80 seconds.
Back it up. Yeah,
there we go. So Silly does use it, and he actually takes down that War Machine player. Now he's going to try to push on up. He's had some great shots throughout this series. Hook finds another. Even if he only gets that 1 kill, that's big because it was the War Machine player.
And that gets them back into the zone. The contestant's going to come in, but they're so close, just a sliver away. Apathy wins the one-on-one. Swiftazor, the next contestant, can't get in. Back-to-back rounds for Envy as they push this to a final round. You would have loved to be able to keep that Annihilator or maybe have that strike team for a 5th round, but you just...
Well, I think the only player that was close the last time I looked was Swiftazor, and he used the War Machine that round. So we'll have to take a look. I'm sure there's some who can earn it this round, but that was the only one that mine was guaranteed.
Imagine just tossing a strike team on a zone. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Send. What is a whole triangle to send? I'm sending them.
Swear. Yeah, they're quite strong. I think it was Looney had a clip a couple weeks back. He tweeted, I think his strike team must have killed like 20 people. It was the best strike team I've ever seen. That was in a pub, though. All right, here we go.
Zeppa's close to Annihilator.
Final round.
At 5. Aches will get War Machine, and Hook has grabs him. Assault, yeah. So you definitely have advantage if you're Envy.
The big thing just being that War Machine, right? That's the big advantage right now.
But B, once again, I don't know what Tainted Minds is doing. What they're showing that's putting so much pressure towards that A side where Envy's over-rotating. But that's I mean, you've only lost 3 lives and you have B.
Now you have to do this crazy hold yet again. And they're already on A. Can they get a tick immediately? It looks like the answer is going to be no to that. They won't be able to get the first tick on the board. But you're down 4 lives if you're Envy. You're going to need some magic from your specialist to pull this out.
I think he used a grab slam as well. I think Hook called that in. Yeah, he's only halfway now, so they don't have that. They're on A. Assault, though, has to pull that out. You saw the War Machine as well. It's desperation mode for Envy as they're trying to break on in. Big play. They don't get this second tick.
And you still have this drone squad available on Assault.
Zeppa used Annihilator as well. They took down Zeppa.
Drone squad in. Tempest in. War Machine also comes out for Aches. So you're still down 3 lives. And I like this from Tainted Minds. You have so much time to work with. Wrap around, hell, go sit on the ground for a while until those specialists are out. You don't need to deal with them. Now all the specialists will be off the table. You're not going to have anything else to work with. It'll just be gun on gun, other than the grab slam, I believe, on Nimble. That's going to be the only thing you might see. Envy has been able to do this once. This insane, lengthy hold. Apathy is a psychopath as he picks up 2. What a shot beatdown that was. And suddenly the slight advantage you saw for Tainted Minds flips in the favor of Envy as they've got the defensive setup and they have the advantage in lives.
See number 3 going all the way around that. Swift Azor, he's typically the guy they send on the flank. Nimble probably going to open this up with Grab Slam. And if he gets 2, this game could be over. He's going to slide on in now. He's trying to get in a position.
Nothing. Swing and a whip as he gets nothing behind the Grab Slam, and now they start to get apart as 4 drop for Tainted Minds, and it's a 4-kill advantage now for Envy, and it gives them map position to get up and affect the spawn of Tainted Minds.
That was terrible. Seen a couple of those this week.
Yeah, we have. And it's not the easiest thing, but the difference there, if he connects with a couple of kills versus none, and sometimes it feels like you're just guessing a bit.
Assault 50 off streaks as well. 4 lives left. Envy, they were down 2-0 in this game, and it's looking like they're going to close this out. Ace is out of ammo.
How impressive have these holds been today? We're talking 90-second to 2-minute holds they've had to put up on a site where you really need one big break to take over. What a performance from Envy to close out this 3-0. That was some resilient stuff.
I mean, just look at these respawns. When we take a look back at the series, it was a 15-point hard point. The search was not close, but the control, I mean, Tainted Minds, they were in control.
Yeah, it's one of those 3-0s that just hurts because, yeah, it's a 3-0 on the scoreboard. It just doesn't feel like a 3-0 maybe if you're Tainted Minds because you play them so close, but
God, I talk about that,
a 3-0.
Just not good.
A loss is a loss. And between, falling off the map and a 1v1, a Grab Slam that comes up with nothing but air. A couple
Even if
moments.
He gets one there. Just you had Swift Azor on the flank as well. That could have been it.
But instead, the result is a resounding 3-0 victory for Envy. Solid stuff as they continue to be the one top team that controls their matches, that wins all their matches. They're looking incredibly strong as they sit atop their pool. More CW action coming up after the break.
The analyst desk is back for day 3 of the Pro League qualifier. Nameless, Study, Pac-Man. Today is not disappointing. If anything, Study for shock value.
Well, going into that series, I knew Envy was going to pull out the 3-0.
Right.
First, the match were actually kind of close. Just Envy has that clutch factor in their veins, so I'm happy that they did.
Well, you know, Pac, I mean, Envy's got to just feel great right now. You know, both their alpha matches, both 3-0s.
Look, they have Aches on their team. He's just here for one reason: he can qualify, and he's chilling.
Yeah,
they were chilling that whole series.
They won champs.
He's like, I'm gonna qualify. That's what I gotta do. And then after that,
especially when you have Apathy, this guy just came in today.
Wait,
whole
Apathy's
different kind of
godlike today.
He must have had his Wheaties this morning.
I mean, Apathy's he's always on point in the early matches. Before 5 p.m., Apathy's going off. On gamer schedule, this is still morning. So, like, App's still going off.
Like, if Pierce hasn't woken up yet, it's still gamer morning. Like,
Gunless, 100%.
I guarantee Gunless is asleep. He'll get the good morning text in like an hour.
and like, one thing about Envy is, you know, as being one of those top teams with the experience, with the championships under their belt, you expect a team like this to improve upon what we saw at Vegas, and you know, all these top teams. That's what you expect out of them, and they're one of the few teams that, you know, I have high regard for, and I think that they'd be able to do it, and they've done it. They've improved a lot, and it's showing here at the POQ. They're undefeated. You know, they're closing out game 5s, and they're also getting 3-0 wins. They're beating the teams that they should in dominating fashion. Like, we're back on the desk in record speed. Like, that was a 3-0. And even though the maps are relatively close, like, there was never a second where I thought that Tainted Minds was going to beat Envy. They always had the control of the map, and, you know, even when they went down a little bit, they were going to regain that control and finish that win.
That ground slam by Nimble.
Yo.
Horrendous.
That's got to be one of the worst. Havoc jumped off the map with his, so that's definitely the worst by default. But that one right there, he grab slammed on his own side of showers.
If it's closer to killing everybody on your team.
Yeah.
So, Study, I wonder, there was a point where we were sitting back in the green room, and you guys did kind of pause for a second because you thought maybe Tainted Minds would be able to take at least one map.
Nah.
Of course, that's not how it ended up happening, but, I mean, there was a moment where you guys were wondering.
Yeah, well, Tainted Minds came out hot, but Apathy just came back fine.
Well, all right, I know what you're talking about. They were up 80 to like 10 on the first map or something like that. And I remember I was looking at the screen and I was just watching the game, and I looked at the score and said, "What?" 80 to 10. Like, no, Envy's gonna still win this map though. I remember thinking that, and then Apathy was destroying. I can't talk about this guy enough. He was not good at Vegas. Their worst player. Like, he legitimately, Apathy was their worst player. He is going off today. Shout out to Apathy, man, picking it up.
Absolutely, and taking another look again at Pool B. Now Team Envy, another one being able to sit pretty at 4-0.
This pool is tightly contested at the top still, though. Like, right? Look at this pool. Heretics, really good team. Really good team.
Well, what's good for Envy is, I mean, even if they do drop a game and it comes down to a tiebreaker versus Heretics, they have that head-to-head over them. And looking at G2, a team you expect to kind of make it into the top 2 contention. They're going to have to, you know, go on a streak here and try to break into that top 2.
Fact Revolution sitting in 3rd, currently beating in the series 2-1 versus Lightning Pandas, and Lightning Pandas is just, I don't even know.
Lightning Pandas has to win this series. They have, like, 0-4 for a team that just plays top 6. They're right outside of auto qualifying for the league, and now here at the qualifier, they're on the brink of going 0-4.
I'm actually afraid. Mad Cat went 0-2 and was punching the desk. Imagine if he goes 0-4. What do you think he's gonna do?
Right?
I mean,
Throw the desk, flip it over.
He might throw it.
They got 5th, 6th at Vegas. Like, this is a team that, are they a flop? Like, what was that, a fluke at Vegas? I don't know. It's looking like it right now. They can't get anything going. They're winning this hard point. I mean, earlier, Petey was trying to do it all, and he had no contribution. I mean, Alex was helping him a little bit, but everybody else was, you know, underwhelming. And now you're getting some contributions from your other players, and you find yourself up in a hard point. You got to think, Josh, he's the one who's getting destroyed. He's got to turn it around for him.
He's playing a lot better in this map, right? He's 19 and 15. He's over a minute in the hill. He's actually contributing to this team's success right here. That's what he needs to do. They just need to clutch. They need to finish this out and then clutch up that game 5 and then reset their minds going forward. Like, they're still. It's crazy. We asked before, if they go 0-4, they're still not out. Still not out.
That's crazy.
Mentally reset, bounce back.
I mean, it's got to be at least that little bit of hope, right? Like, okay, well, we've lost everything, but there's still a chance.
I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of hope. Like, these guys have been playing for a long time, so they've been in worse situations before. But, I mean, like, in this type of situation, this is the series, you know, if you lose it, you're pretty much done for, right? Like, You need to win this. You need to. You're going to go to that game 5. You need to clutch up just for morale sakes alone. Like if you lose that map, you're going to be compromised. If you're already punching monitors, you're going to be compromised if you lose the game 5. Like it's going to be a wrap after that.
If they go to 0-4, we're going to catch Mad Cat at World of Beer later, something like that. Just throwing them back.
Ooh, that would feel bad, but it does seem like hopefully if they can get these next 6 picks, LP will be able to. I know. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it until they do it.
This isn't 100 Thieves, bro. No comebacks happening. All I need is 2 points. Yeah, that's lame.
There we go. LP able to tie that out. Let's look at our schedule now, because coming up as our next alpha match, we do have 100 Thieves and overtime going
this is a huge match. Both teams sitting at 2-2. They've actually both beaten the same teams, Team Space and Mazer. So, both kind of in that same little skill level area. And if whoever wins that, they'll have that tiebreaker over each other, because they will be 3-2, and they will hold that tiebreaker over the other team, which is a huge match to win, because there's only a few games left in group play. You got to start getting these wins now, and you got to start thinking about these tiebreakers.
If the 100 Thieves win this, we've been talking bad about them. If they win this, they go to 3-2, and they're like at the top of this pool.
Yeah.
That's actually mind-blowing.
That is crazy.
That's actually mind-blowing.
And their wins have just been like pure clutches too, like just crazy back against the wall, clutching up. This will be like their biggest win thus far, though, because beating overtime is like, you need to win that. Your same record, like it's huge for the head-to-head.
Well, so Nameless, something that stuck out to me that I want to talk to you about. You were talking a little bit with Kenny on Twitter a bit ago after they were.
I was really critical on him, obviously. I'm sure everybody's heard it by now. I think he needs to get a lot better. I thought he was amazing last year, and he's been, critiqued on having like a big ego in the past. And he tweeted me, said I appreciate it, and I was talking to him about it a little bit, and he was like, I do need to get better. Like there's things in my gameplay that obviously I need to fix, and I need to go back. I need to humble myself, get rid of that ego and fix it. And I find that to be something like special in a player, to be able to realize that and go forward and humble themselves out. Some people, they won't do that. They'll just keep thinking they're the best and they won't improve. So we'll see if they maybe talked about it a little bit, humbled themselves, and are ready for this next match.
Study overtime. We focused a lot on 100 Thieves, but overtime going into this match, what do you think about them? Chances they may have, honestly?
I think the series is going to be pretty good. Whalers, he's just always going to be one of those top slayers with his ICR. That team is just, I feel like they click sometimes, but when they really do click is when they're slaying. So if they bring the slaying with this team, it's going to be a really good match.
It's going to be important for them to jump out and take this hard point, because 100 Thieves is not a good hard point team. Like 1-6 their record in hard point. So they come out and take this hard point from 100 Thieves, give themselves that confidence and fire going forward. They can try to take that 2-0 lead, try to close up the series,
I mean, they started out the week with a 3-0 win over Team Space. That's a huge win, right? And then ever since then, they've only beaten Mazer, who obviously they're decent, but they're not that good. So not too many impressive wins for these guys, but they do have that win over Team Space, who's a formidable opponent. So we know that they can play up to par with talented individuals. So they can beat this team. It's just going to take a lot.
Well, we will see, of course, what is going to happen there. But as Day 3 of the Pro League qualifier continues on, Team Envy gets its second 3-0 of the day to place 4-0 overall in their pool. And coming up here, we have a next match on Alpha of 100 Thieves and overtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pro League Qualifier. Up next, a game on the main stage which has pretty big ramifications for their pool. 100 Thieves versus Overtime. For all the flack 100 Thieves have received, rightfully so, they could find themselves, if a win was resulted here in this series, second in the pool chance.
Yeah, so no matter what happens for either team, it doesn't have instant implications for anything. But if you win, as you said, you'll be tied for that top two, depending on what Accelerate does. But you win, you're in a great spot. You lose, you are in a terrible spot, and it's going to be very, very difficult to make that bracket play.
Yep.
If you win, it doesn't guarantee bracket play, but your odds are immensely better.
Yes, way, way, way better, because well, you hold the head-to-head against a team with a similar record. And something to think about as the maps come up on screen there is if 100 Thieves were to lose this, and bear in mind the hardpoint record stands at 1-6, so it hasn't been great, that's for sure. If they were to lose the series as a whole, there is a scenario in the world where it could be head-to-head for bottom two, avoid bottom two, between Team Space and 100 Thieves, where a 5-1 search and destroy comeback, yeah, that could be the deciding factor.
I believe, though, I think it was Seaside that they do have their 1 out of 7 matches they've won win on hardpoint.
So that's
also
a plus.
Super contested start, by the way. Everyone's just standing next to each other waiting for the first one to fall, and it looks like it's going to be, Overtime coming out on top. Riskin's able to pick up 2 in the engagements, and if there's a player for me to watch, if you remember last year, Whalers was disgustingly good, but I think this year it might be Riskins. From everything I've seen so far, which granted I haven't seen them a ton this week, Riskins has been nasty. The man's on a 3 streak right now. He's able to pick up 4 and 5, 220 off streaks, 95 off streaks. He can get in the hill if I were him. Get in the hill, rack up an extra 15, but hey, you get a kill, it's going to be enough. It looks like Zeke is going to try to bait for him. But yeah, a great start right now from Overtime.
I mean, there's great, and then there's damn near perfect. They're going to get the final 8-second scrap. 100 Thieves haven't got a point, and they have the rotation, and also Riskin is so close to streak. Stay alive there. It's an over-challenge here. The fight is going to come through, waiting for the perfect time to pinch. So 100 Thieves will get a couple of points, but honestly, it's not going to be more than really a handful. As Riskin waiting for the perfect time to push. Wants to just tag up the player. Honestly, just play for the EKIA as Octane just beams him. No streaks for Overtime. 100 Thieves actually hold on.
And they played that super slow as well. Overtime invested a ton of time to try to make that happen. So now on their second push, there's 32 seconds left on the hill, which even if they win this one now, which you can see, they're mostly chalking it up. You got 3 players going through mid to make the rotation, 2 players spawning out. That is as good of a hill as you could possibly have for 100 Thieves. Kenny, by the way, already rotating. He does get taken down, but hey, 3 more players for 100 Thieves have another 15 seconds to try to make this break to lock down these spawns. The stun, though, is going to cost them. And Naval just gets decked. Whalers on the flank is able to find 2. And, well, the break of the last hill didn't go great for Overtime. The rotation, however, about as good as it gets.
Yep. Kenny with a very, very slow start, 1 and 4. So we need to really try and turn up a little bit here on this rotation. It'll be tough to break that fountain hardpoint as Brezzy gets a double. Whalers thinking about maybe pushing out over towards that step side. Overtime about to take the lead. As Kenny does find Natche. Was able to trade 3 fires, needs to heal up. Backs away momentarily. 480 points as well. Keep your eye on that bottom right. Meanwhile, hardpoint. 100 Thieves in control briefly. And unfortunately, for Overtime, they're relying heavily on just one player, and it's Riskin. What a great play, just staying alive as well. Finds himself another pick. I was talking about streaks for other players, but realistically now just 285 points away is Riskin.
And he's got a Nasog that actually has bullets in it, which is nice, but it is basically hill after hill. One team just utterly dominates the other. No real breaks have come in at all, so
yeah, true.
We'll see what happens on hill number 4. It's 100 Thieves. They've got that early setup, but I've seen 100 Thieves. It was yesterday. No idea who it was against, but they had the perfect setup for the Wine Barrels hill, and then got broken in like 7 or 8 seconds. Yeah. So looking for them to fix those mistakes. They got 2 players watching church side. Slasher's going to get taken out. Enable does the smart thing, backs out a hallway to get closer to his teammates. On the other side of the hill, it is Sparrow working with Slasher coming off spawn to hold that break. So all of Overtime pressure coming to the front, and that kill feed red on the left side. It is looking like another stronghold for either team that gets there first.
Of course, for Overtime, they've been close to streaks twice, not been able to earn them. It'd be nice if, for 100 Thieves fans at least, Farah, who's 370 points away, could try and earn something extra, but players challenging to the left-hand side, he should be good for dead, is unable, though, able to trade, and to your point, it's just been back and forth, dominating hardpoints. Finally, a contest comes through, last 18 seconds. Is it good for Overtime? It looks as if it will be.
Well, the lay of the land is finished. By the way, Kenny electing to not run stock 2 on the SOG, which is Definitely strange, because as you know, pretty much everybody made the switch. It might honestly be everyone except Kenny, so just keep an eye on him. Right now, 5-8. We'll see what he can do as this game continues on, but looks like Riskins and crew are going to be leading the charge, trying to storm on forward. Yeah, first set of rotations in. We're going to have a couple lead exchanges here, as it looks like overtime is now going to retake the lead.
Once again, this time it's going to be Brezzy in the hill. There's a Tempest out. It's in Pharaoh's hands. Is anyone going to overpeak? Well, not chasing vibes. 2 whiff shots and a slide straight into the hill, and he will die. As a result of that, Hoppoint's still going to be contested though, as Riskin looks over towards the right-hand side. Octane's going to be 1 shot. Riskin hasn't invested his Tempest yet. Overtime starting to build a bit of a cushion here. 125 to 101 as he finds the pick onto Octane. Meanwhile, in terms of the rotation fight, for spawns at least, Overtime have the advantage, but in terms of the kills, definitely going in the way of 100 Thieves. War Machine's going to be invested. Finds one, that's Kenny, but a nade comes out, beautifully placed from Slasher. Zeke will fall, so 100 Thieves don't have to deal with the War Machine anymore. War
Machine for a nade, you will take that trade every day of the week. Brezzy right now trying to stay in the back, by the way, also doesn't have stock 2 on, so you bring it up once, got to bring it up twice. A lot of players right now, though, coming through that dark alley, and looks like it's going to be Pharaoh. Just that last guy in the hill. Whalers is able to pick up 2, and now Octane's stuck in church, but that's overtime on that clean break.
And it was super important that Brezzy played for the spawns as long as he did. He waited, he trusted his teammate, and then assisted. And overtime controlled the spawns perfectly here. You have to look for that rotation, though, once again to come through. You probably see Brezzy invest, grab, slam. That's a double. Kenny and Pharaoh full, instantly charges into the hill. 360 points is all he needs, and Natche's already on the rotation. He finds 1, he finds 2. 100 Thieves in a whole world of pain, because look at where they're spawning now, Chance. All the way over across the map on the old hill. Some key gunfights about to go down, but Riskin's there. They've invested Crash as well. 100 Thieves counter with their own Crash. 200 versus 200. Health fights about to go down. You still have Tempest. 100 Thieves falling like dominoes.
And Natche with a concussion, able to pick up 2, helping out his teammate. Now Risk is turning and picking up more kills as well. Keep in mind, Natche, well, he was on a streak. Octane, though, is able to take him down in the back, and, well, he's going to invest the Annihilator, and this is where he needs to go big. He got 6 bullets. You're going to want at least 4 kills. That would be ideal. Player in the back with the hip fire, connects with the first shot. 100 Thieves, they stabilize, they get control of Fountain. And now, honestly, can it just be a feast for Octane? Gets a couple kills. Build towards some score streaks.
This is big
that comeback.
This is big, big time. 100 Thieves, another whiff, and instantly Octane nullified by Riskin. Slasher again with a nade. Does find himself a pick. Kenny will be traded out. Still 100 Thieves with a little bit of control. Brezzy last man in the hill. He will drop, and now it's a foot race over towards Barrows.
Not too bad. Specialist kind of a low impact game overall here so far. You know, you earlier saw the War Machine get taken down. I don't believe we've seen anything too crazy. Nothing out of the ordinary, but of course, a handful of players going to be earning it for the second time. And of course, Risk does have that Tempest as well, potentially for this hill, which could be huge. 100 Thieves. You see right now, 3 players stacked inside. 1 Tempest shot connected somebody. And things get out of control really quickly, but Kenny surging forward. He's able to stun 2 players out, keeping him at bay. And of course, Pharaoh doing some damage. And, well, Kenny's here for the trade. 2 players in front, able to get 1.
Oh, so close.
And I think that might have been him shutting down the Tempest. I'm pretty sure that was it. And Risk, you can see, that is gone. He's only a quarter way on progression. That is a massive kill coming in from Kenny.
Yeah, most definitely is. Quick glance at every other specialist available, and, well, there's none. So for at least the remaining 30 seconds, it's going to be gun-on-gun play. There's 100 Thieves. Look for another lead change here in this game. Slasher finds 1. And the kill feed, once again, all red. Chance. Keep your eye on the minimap as well in terms of the rotation. It has been won by overtime. A couple of key gunfights, including a risk there on Octane. Lead changes in favor of 100 Thieves. Still plenty to be played for here in this game.
There's a huge problem for Slasher right now. He knows he's got Zeke in the back that he's got to deal with, but even across there, he's going to get caught out. So the communication perfect. Zeke able to find 1. Kenny shuts him down, but that's just clearing out the back of your base. Now the second wave of gunfights you got to do inside the hill, but Risk is going to get caught out. Bredgy's there for the trades. He's able to pick up 2. 100 Thieves, though, might be able to get in. He's doing his job to stay alive. Octane, though, eventually able to clear him out. The 100 Thieves have been able to break through. Nade's coming in, though, trying to make it interesting. Slasher, Enable, and Pharaoh in the kill feed. 100 Thieves able to stabilize.
Yep, trophy system down as well. Quick glance at the map. 100 Thieves have everything going for them in the final 30 seconds, including spawn control for the second hard point. Pharaoh will fall, as it looks like overtime may just go for 1 final push. It's going to be Whalers by himself. 15 seconds is big time, and 100 Thieves have a couple of players still there. So scrap time definitely won by them, but it's the fights on rotation which are going to be so important. Slasher and Church is going to get stunned. Surely the challenge from Natche comes through. No, he just backs down, partly because his teammate lost a gunfight there to a 100 Thieves player playing so deep. But Natche does bring it to life. He gets a double. Slasher into the trade. War Machine is available to use. He picks up the sub. Somehow Slasher's still alive. The reach out comes through. Whalers with the pick. 239, 196. Overtime in the hill.
11 points away, and 100 Thieves gets this win. But Farrell in the back is going to fall, and Mabel able to pick up one, but he's only got Slasher here with them. And well, Slasher's going to invest the War Machine. They want to break through. They're trying to win it here, and Enable with the Trash Slam can come out, pick him up, but does he even need to? He's going to win, but Slasher is able to pick up two, but maybe it all falls apart. I don't even know. They're breaking in. 100 Thieves, they're through. 8 seconds away, and they get this win. And overtime, they might just be too far away. Not in Church, not in Barrels. The War Machine is good. You flood in, you die. And 100 Thieves getting their second hardpoint win this week.
Wasn't pretty, but they get the job done towards the end there. Good use of specialists coming out from Slasher, not so much from Enable, but as you said, it didn't really matter in the end. 100 Thieves able to just simply out-trade inside the hill. Great stuff from them. As you mentioned, their second hardpoint win now here this weekend, so good vibes.
And it was a good game. It was a genuinely good game, back and forth. You know, teams getting control of whatever hill. They do a nice job of holding, tough to break through. The specialists weren't overwhelmingly great for either team, but then Slasher at the end was able to pick up two with the War Machine, force them out a little bit. So they got the job done, get their second hardpoint win. Now you're moving into Search and Destroy, where however things go, if I'm 100 Thieves, I'm thinking, hey, we want a hardpoint. We know we're great at control. We got 2 out of 5 on board. We win the S&D. We're feeling free and clear. If not, you got to win the next hardpoint. Who knows what it's going to be, but if you're a 100 Thieves fan, you're happy with that win.
You're very happy. Again, they've had a ton of flack for some of the results they've had so far, but the reality of the situation is a win here, and they will be second in their group, or tied for second. Tied for second place. So still a very good chance that they do finish top 2 and qualify for the Pro League. And speaking of 100 Thieves, I know Jess caught up with some of the players earlier on.
Thanks, Ben. That's right. Yeah, I had a little chat with Pharaoh before this match, and of course, I had to ask him about the match that everybody is talking about, which was the reverse sweep that 100 Thieves pulled off versus Mazer Gaming earlier. He said that essentially came down to them choking on the hard point, which kind of threw off their game. He is glad that they were able to complete that reverse sweep, but admits that it was way closer than it should have been. Overall, and going forward, he said that the main issue that they're struggling with as a team is their indecisiveness. They really just need to be able to make a decision and stick to it instead of kind of questioning everything. I did also ask a little bit about how, 100 Thieves have just been facing so much criticism lately, and I asked, how does that affect you mentally? How do you not let it get to you? And he said, well, we just kind of have to play our game. People are going to talk no matter what happens, so we've just got to ignore it, let it roll off our backs, and keep on going. So for now, Ben Chance, back on over to you.
Thank you very much, Jess. 100 Thieves, though, turning things around there in that hardpoint, as you said, finding their second hardpoint win here this week. And you brought it up perfectly, I think, Chance. Quite a fair amount of kind of praise you can give them from that hardpoint. They were playing a lot better than what we've seen so far.
And I completely agree with what Jess said that she got from the interview. They're not like huge problems. Maybe chemistry, sure, like in team, but other than that, I think they're right. If they're just more decisive, and when you want to use specialists, we need to commit to something. If you fix a ton of little mistakes, they would be winning a ton of more series that they had, a ton of more maps. Like, I'm thinking specifically yesterday, there was a moment in the frequency hardpoint where they're down and Pharaoh's all the way in the back. With Tempest. He has the Tempest available. He decides not to use it. Yep. And then, boom, you lose spawn. Then he has to pull it out on the sprint to try to get to the hill, but then it's game over. If you're just decisive and use it there, maybe you get that win. Obviously, it's a big maybe, but what we just saw on that Seaside hardpoint is overtime, get control of that final hill. Slasher and Enable in her basic 2v5, and Slasher says, dude, we're going for it. Like, they don't have any trophies down right now. We're trying to make the play. Picks up 2 with the War Machine, and you just go for it. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's a little risky, because if you burn the War Machine, now you don't have it for next, and it's scary. They made the decisive play, and they found success from it. And there's so many situations they've been in throughout the weekend where they just need to go for it. They just need to get some swagger back, and then start working their way to the 100 Thieves that we all expected to be. Of course, on the flip side of the table, overtime are definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they look very good there in that hardpoint, to be honest. And this one, pushing in the shove, 100 Thieves choke them out at the end, and they take map number 1. But now heading over to Search and Destroy. Any kind of predictions heading into this one, Chance, specifically, statistically?
It's really tough to say. I know I have a recollection of 100 Thieves losing on this map specifically, but I can't even off the top of my head remember who it was against. And I will say on the flip side of things, an interesting thing that I can't remember if we brought up about overtime is they actually did make a roster change. From Vegas to here, they did. I don't know if Atlas left or if he got dropped, but whatever it is, Nat Shea is coming in as the replacement. So at this point, they're going to be well put together. They're going to be scrimmed well put together, but it's going to be at least slightly different from what it was in the past, potentially for a positive. I will say, though, I'm keeping my eye on Nat Shea for this map number 2 instead of Risk, because we put him out for the hard point, because I'm expecting more from the new guy in Search and Destroy, while Risk I'm looking at for the hard points.
Okay, fair enough. That's a valid assessment for 100 Thieves. In terms of their Search and Destroy chance, has there been kind of any glaring mistakes? It's been an interesting event. Obviously, they make a 5-1 comeback, and you would never even be able to tell. They walked off the stage and was just like, you know, it's fine. We do this regularly.
I think it was against Mazer, actually, now that I'm remembering. I remember specifically people clipping it out of, like, Slasher in a 1v2 where he just, like, never reloads his Maddox and he sneaks up behind a guy and he gets turned on. It's just, there's so many situations like that where it could just be better. And I guess if, you talk about, I'm looking at Nat Shea for the side of overtime. I'm looking at Pharaoh for right here on Arsenal. Like, the man is on this team. His S&D is supposed to be his best game of by far. Historically, that's absolutely true. So looking for him to pick things up, to be the leader on the squad. And we know he likes to get fancy. He'll try out a handful of different strats.
Swordfish is one of them.
So, yeah, a very valid thing, might I add.
The only problem is the times we've seen him use it.
Hey, let's not talk about those times. Let's talk about the potential.
All right, well, on board with overtime to start things off. Of course, they're going to be on the defensive side first of all. They get some information, a little bit of intel, nothing at A, nothing mid-map. Well, where is 100 Thieves going to be? Probably over towards the B site. Bomb planted. Slasher playing a cute little corner to the right-hand side. Risk is able to find first blood. A couple of trades come through. Risk actually gets himself a double. 2v2, 30 seconds to go.
And the question is, do you hop this bomb? At the very least, 100 Thieves know that that's a possibility. They might have to check it. Breggy with the pistol, able to get one, doesn't have the bullets for the second, and Enable knows that. If you get the one-shot call-out, you don't always want to challenge because of how fast you can heal up, but he knows it's a Mozu. He knows that guy burned at least, 3-4 bullets. He's not going to have enough for the second. You go for the challenge. It should be a gunfight you win. Or maybe he just wanted to challenge because he got the one-shot call-out. It could be either one, but either way, it's smart.
Yeah. Enable has had a pretty good, got a few moments in Search and Destroy throughout this week. A couple of clutches. Obviously, he's not really known for being a great Search and Destroy player. The opposite. But, hey, he's playing well this week.
That's what it was. This was the map we watched Enable get streaked out. The
Remember that? And then and he kept taking the bomb as opposed to,
So
that was rough.
We've watched 100 Thieves choke on this map as well.
Well, Enable with a good start. 3-0. Almost scarily similar to the game where, of course, he did receive that lightning strike and they went mid-map and used it for essentially no reason.
Deja vu. The exact same thing Overtime did on defense. You spot the cross to B. Send the whole team right back, but it looks like 2 players for 100 Thieves still over by A. But now, of course, when the shot's coming in, they know there's more players there. Now they're going for the wrap, and it will seemingly be a true just 5v5 retake. No one cutting through mid, so all the pressure is going to be in the front. Breggy, by the way, able to take down Enable. Risk took down Slasher. Now 100 Thieves for the 3v5.
It's going to be rough. Bomb planted as well. How are they going to retake? Well, that's not ideal. Just running around a corner and mowed down by Risk. Resi, he's watching mid and has a sniper rifle out. Goes for a little bit of a jump, see if he spots anything. Pharaoh, 1v4. We talked about this a few moments ago over on Bravo Chance, but clutching in this game, so hard to do.
Absolutely, and I think even situations like that, retakes can be difficult. That's now eventually you're just getting picked off by a sniper. Now you're sliding out just to die. You got to go for it. You got to try to make a play, but it's just solo challenging gunfights in the end. It's so tough. And then, of course, overtime, they sent guys through mid, try to cause a little bit of chaos, and they came closer, but still no cigar.
1-1 here in the Search and Destroy. As 100 Thieves go back onto the attacking side. Of course, we talked about Enable potentially getting closer towards Streaks. He falls last round, obviously. So no Streaks for him. Octane pulls out the sniper rifle. Will he find his pick? Well, Brezzy has a sniper of his own. Kenny needs to be careful he doesn't over-peek here. Because Brezzy will not miss this shot if he does. Oh, or he will. Try to gas him up.
Catcher's curse.
Probably.
Round two.
Brezzy will not miss this shot.
Okay, he got flinch on that one. I'll give him that one. That's just a tough shot to hit. Gonna toss the stun out as well.
Well missed this shot. All right, 4th time. Come on, 5th time. It's fine. His teammates are there. That's all that matters, Chance.
If you forgot, Whalers again. Very talented player in his own right. Pharaoh, though, with the beatdown. As another player challenging right, he's going to be off the map and just feeds Pharaoh a kill, but doesn't make a difference. I don't know. He does have a sniper. 1v3s are tough, but he's got the combo to make it happen. He did not catch.
All right, dudes, we'll be switching it over
fairly certain
to some Fortnite. Hope everybody enjoyed.